The Daily Shift with Raquel. Waiting for this thing to catch up with what I'm saying. Where every day through Monday to Friday, I feed your soul to create easily the life that you want in a few minutes a day. I'm so happy that you're here with me today. Last week, I started this series around manifesting what you want easier. So if you want to start look at that first, you can go ahead and look at the description or just hang out with me for a little bit and then go ahead and grab that. And you want to see that because it's going to be the foundation of what I'm going to be talking about for the next 5 weeks every single Monday. The rest of the time, we're going to be doing fun things like biohacking, which is what I'm calling it. We're using energy in our mind over matter to shrink down. Congratulations to Angela, who lost 3 inches around her belly button area. And she's already very fit. But, everybody has things about them that are like, oh, I just want that to be better. And so for her, she shrunk down. She told me this morning that she shrunk down a total of 3 inches. So we're really happy for her. I need to get sound effects. And for those of you who are following my journey, I'm still holding on. I had lost about 7 inches around my belly button and a few inches around my waist and 4 around my hips. And so if you're interested in the biohacking, then you will want to join us because I'm doing a free complimentary masterclass on 1010 about activating your abundance. And if I can get myself together and start putting the little ticker tape in the bottom before I forget. To remind you to get your complimentary seat, you can look at the link in the description for details and grab your seat because the seats are limited. I want to make sure to have enough time to do Q&A with everybody who's coming. So go ahead and grab your complimentary seat if you want to unlock your abundance. And so today we're going to continue on this series around manifesting things easier. We talked last week about what I call the 4 pillars, which is your subconscious, conscious, your heart space, and your I am center. Today, we're going to be focusing on the subconscious, and what you hear about the subconscious is not incorrect. It is incomplete. And so I want to bring you the missing pieces to the subconscious in order for you to manifest what you want easier, right? The thing with any of this stuff is that it is simple, but it's not easy to do. And the reason it's not easy to do is because the tools and the methods that I use are very, very simple. Anybody can use it. It has nothing to do with your IQ, which is only really how fast you're processing data anyway, or, or how ascended you are. None of that stuff. It's really just mind over matter and being consistent in it, which is why so many people don't end up getting what they want. And if they do, they kind of like break through, right? But they can't hold on to it. So I'm showing you ways through this series on how to hold on once you break through. So if that's you, just keep on listening. And for those of you who are note takers like me, just relax right now and hang out with me. If you look in the description, you'll also find a link where you're going to be receiving my notes, and I'll have some journaling prompts in there for you as well in order for you to embody what I'm saying. So you just go ahead and get that. That's absolutely free as well. It is another gift to you because I want to sow into your life. Why? Because I know this stuff works. I'm also, I don't mind doing a lot of things like this because I can afford to be generous. So this is a way where I can go ahead and sow into your amazing life. All right, so let's get started. Around the subconscious, what you know about the subconscious, like I said, is not incorrect, it's incomplete. And so in the 4 pillars, we have subconscious and the conscious, and there's a lot of interplay, right? Your subconscious, think of your subconscious as like your automatic GPS, right? It's something that's your brain is always looking for patterns because it wants to ramp down. And so it's always looking for patterns to recognize things in order for you to get into that groove and to make those decisions. And you're making decisions all the time. More than 90% of your decision making and your reactions are from your subconscious. But the beautiful thing about that is that you are the most amazing AI on the planet, and you can reprogram that. Yes, you can. And so how do you reprogram it? Through the conscious state. A lot of times people will say, well, you can, and it's not inaccurate, but it's incomplete because they're like, okay, well, you can change it through repetition or a high emotional state. So normally the advice is well, go ahead and visualize, and you have to be in the visualization until you really, really feel it. And that's how because part of reprogramming your subconscious is this high emotional state, which you can either let life happen or we can take our power back, and we can make it happen by doing it ourselves. The problem with that is that it goes into the soul prosperity, which is your conscious state. What is soul prosperity? We're told in the good book that you will prosper and be in health as your soul, which is your mind, your will, and your emotions prosper. And the advice given to you to visualize until you can feel the emotion actually starts to tap into your conscious state of soul prosperity, but it deals with the emotional part, which is the last piece to soul prosperity. The very first thing is your mind. This is why people gravitate toward mindset work, right? Your mind is the key. Is the gatekeeper. Your conscious, which is what you're doing right now by paying attention to me. This is an attention economy. Is the first thing, and so your will and your emotions will follow suit as you feed your mind, which helps your subconscious. So a lot of times when people are trying to visualize, like it's very difficult for me to visualize, even though I'm a very lucid dreamer. But it seems like I can be a lucid dreamer, but when my eyes are open, not so much. When I'm awake, it's really hard for me to tap into. So if that is you, some people do have an amazing imagination, and this will help even if you do. But this is the thing with the subconscious, is that in order for you to work on this particular pillar, if it's not working for you, where you're trying to tap into your emotions, it's because you're not doing it in the easier way. And so I'm going to show you and tell you about how you do that. All right. So when we're talking about repetition, these are 4 different ways that you can reprogram your beautiful mind or mindset, your subconscious part anyway. And we'll talk about the other pillars as the weeks are going on. Right? And go ahead and get your complimentary seat so you get some more of this juicy stuff. The first way is what I've been showing here is the EFTs. So why do EFTs work? That's the emotional freedom technique. You might know it as tapping. And so I've been using it in this channel to help you shift from where you are to where you want to be, because it helps to bring you down in a healthier emotional state. And so why do you want that? Because your gift is the way you think. It is the way your brain processes all the juicy things that you think about. It's actually like a signature for you. It's like basically a fingerprint. But what happens is that when you're in a high emotional state, right? When you're in frenzy, when you're worried, anxiety, fear, doubt, now your brain is your medicine man or your drug dealer. And now all those juicy chemicals are going into your frontal cortex, right? Where your conscious is at, and it drops your IQ 15 points. And so what does that mean? That means you're now at a diminished capacity for thinking. Which means what? Which means now you can't see the answers right in front of you because you're blinded, right? Because you're in this high emotional state. And so it raises cortisol. So then what happens is that now you're in chemical chaos. Hi, Clara. How are you? So then what happens is that when you're doing the EFTs, and you can do some research on this yourself, but it works amazingly well. And for those who have been with me, been seeing amazing results, including Angie when I was talking in the beginning, where she lost already 3 inches around her belly button area, incorporating EFTs with this. EFTs, it's been found that when you do them for like an hour, that it can reduce cortisol levels up to 43%. And the effects of EFTs can last up to 2 years. It is an amazing, effective tool. So how does this help your subconscious? So when you're doing an EFT, you are calming your amazing AI body down, and you are doing a few things. You're confronting, the negative states and the negative thoughts that you're having in the moment. And then you take your power back by choosing to overcome whatever it is that is making you feel stuck. And then you speak into, because now that's voided out, right? And nature hates a vacuum. So now you have this vacuum, and then you speak into what you want. So what's not confronted is not changed. And EFT helps you to do that. And doing it repeatedly starts to then shift. Whenever in our world, when you hear sirens and bells, that means this is important. So what happens is that using EFTs repeatedly helps you to recognize the lies that you're believing. Because if it's the truth that sets you free, it's a lie that keeps you captive. And with the EFTs, it helps you to unlock and get unstuck and to bring to the surface the lies that you believe, to be able to recognize them and then reprogram that lie, right? And when you're thinking about changing something, remember that it's a seed. So it's going to take us, if you've been believing something for a long time, sometimes you can just get it in a day because you've been kind of primed for it. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but it's a seed that's happening. You're rooting one tree out and you're putting in another tree. Think of it like a tree, right? So you're taking one belief system out and you're putting another one in, and you're nurturing it through the EFT. A second way where you can work with your subconscious is through guided meditations, which is another methodology that I use with the Society of Sacred Alchemists and my inner circle called ARC. ARC is not available until sometime in October, but these are also things that you can look in my channel, and I've given out free guided meditations. For me, guided meditations really assist me because, like I said, I'm a lucid dreamer, but it's kind of hard for me to imagine certain things. But so I need a little help. It's storytelling. So I need somebody else to kind of draw me into the story in order for me to kind of take over. So that's another way where you can help your subconscious, because everything we believe is a story. Everything is around words, which is what I talked about in the first week. Again, that link for the link for the first week is down below. So everything we believe is around words. This is this whole universe was created and is sustained by words. Everything we do, right? We get married, we get divorced, we do contracts, we rent, we lease, everything is around words. But everything you believe is just a story, everything. And so as you're doing the EFTs, you're changing the story. As you're doing the guided meditation, you're changing your own story. Another methodology that works really well for people and have worked for other people is scripting. And you might have heard about it, right? You write 33 times for 3 days, or 55 times for 5 days, or 100 times, for 10 days. So what is this doing? You're adding some, clarity, right? You're thinking about it. You're actually doing a meditation. The scripting is another form of meditation because as you are writing, you're thinking about what you're writing. The writing is creating images, and we live off of images, right? When you think about dog, you don't think D-O-G. You might think of like little dog or a big dog, depending on your own frame of reference of dog. When you hear the word dog, an image pops up. And so scripting is another form of meditation that helps to reprogram you, because again, where the mind goes, the man follows. And so what you're doing is you're bringing your body into alignment by engaging your mind, engaging your imagination as you're writing. The last way is the visualizing. Now, the visualizing is, like I said, for some people, it's easy for them to do. And for others like me, it takes a little bit for me to get into the visualizing, but it does work. Why? Because your imagination is your commercial for your future. And so as you are doing these different methodologies in order to get you to activate your imagination is the key for radical, quick change. The thing is, you're already doing it by default. And this is some ways that you can do it by design. I'm trying to keep these things at under 15 minutes. So that way it's a good coffee break. I know it's a lot of information, but if you want more, and I'm going to put even more in the notes, then please go ahead and sign up at the bottom. It is absolutely free. I'll be working on the notes because I wait until I do these live and then I make the notes because I don't know what's going to pop out of my mouth. And then I will send it to you within a business day. And again, the one from last week is already done, so it'll be an automatic download. And until next time, which will be very soon, I'll be back tomorrow at noon. If I can go back here to the brand. I'm on StreamYard. Until tomorrow at 12:15, will I help you to transform what is to what you want it to be. May God's riches and best be yours. Bye now.